morning. Welcome to Investigator News. I'm your host, Ellie. What a weekend. Wow, what a weekend. Everything that happened. Uh, we did have a ceasefire in Gaza. And of course, shots fired back and forth after the ceasefire. It's now been quiet, though, for a couple days. I do have a um, app on my phone that lets me know whenever missiles are fired. And I tell you what, my phone has been crazy all weekend. It just one after another, after another, after another, and it has a siren noise, as kind of like the sirens we get for our tornadoes. So it kind of had the kids rattled a little bit. Good morning, Karen. Karen's our moderator, and we had Marion earlier on the morning show. Um, and she's another moderator of ours. So if you got a comment or a question, please put it below. And if I miss it, Karen or Mary will make sure I get it. Um, Karen, boy, I tell you what, I might get angry for you today. And Mary is now in our chat room. We do converse with the chat room and interact with them. Uh, so jump on in and um, see what you have to say and see if we could put your comment on the board. Be sure to put it down below, especially over there on Facebook. We got a lot of viewers over on Facebook. Um, yeah, yeah, ring the bell and subscribe. We got some really good news for you today. I'm not sure how long this is going to go, but thankfully the tensions in Gaza are easing for now, but that's not the case around Taiwan. Um, I haven't heard nothing. Everybody is all on to the Trump Mar-a-Lago being raided, but there has been Chinese aggression, and it's now called the new normal there, and it's a situation that's getting worse. And China is more and more closer to, they say, an attack, according to Taiwan officials. And they're simulating attacks on the island, sailing in the water so close to the treasure island of our motherland, they say, that we are deeply aware of our great responsibility. And the mission now, the moral of all officers and soldiers on board the ship is highly upon receiving the order. We will definitely fulfill our mission. What mission are they on? The mission is to take Taiwan, and the PLA held bombing drills yesterday. Dozens of Chinese jets were dispatched, and they flew so close to Taiwan that they're, I tell you what, according to my reporters, I mean, they just, figurative speaking, that they flew so low that their hair would blow. But they didn't flow that low, folks. That's just how scared that it gets there. And so, what is their mission? To practice bombing raids and missile attacks on Taiwan. They began their campaign to punish Taiwan. Um, and China's response was a series of targeted military operations, but they were supposed to have ended. It's on the 8th, but they haven't. China has decided to extend now its military drills. And as far as I know, they haven't given a date. So they're just going to keep going. We will firmly safeguard China's territory and integrity and resolutely contain the U.S. efforts to use Taiwan to suppress China and firmly smash the Taiwan authorities' illusion of gaining independence through the U.S. At the same time, though, China is also upholding international law, the basic norms of international relations stipulated in the UN Charter of the Non-Interference in Internal Affairs. So I had to look at it, and they're really. I don't know how they're getting away with this, but they are basically upholding the UN Charter of Non-Interference in Internal Affairs. So, what is China up to? More military um, um, uh, uh, drills, more flyovers, more what? China and the PLA's Eastern Command has issued a statement is that they are responsible for Taiwan. So, what did their statement in the PLA? Um, what will they do? They will conduct more joint drills in the coming days and focuses in two areas: anti submarine operations, sea assault operations. Where will these drills happen? China has not shared the detail, nor do they have to. Um, so again, silence from Beijing for now for the PLA will stay in the Taiwan Strait, and that's all we know. And it's encircled the island, and I've showed you pictures of it. And China has militarized the waters around Taiwan. They're going beyond Taiwan, and they're conducting drills near Korea Peninsula and Japan. Um, they're happening in the Yellow and Bohai Seas. This is a permanent presence, and it signals for the U.S. Um, it's a signal for the U.S. It's basically non-response to Biden. What has he responded? Not do that. Don't you know? I know the phone call has been called off. I haven't heard over the weekend. Mary, have you heard over the weekend if that telephone conversation of Jinping and Biden is going to happen again? And they vowed to take the island by force if necessary. But the U.S. is a pact with Taiwan. The U.S. has promised to come to the Taiwan's defense of China attacks. Now, over the weekend, a top general, and I wish I would have got his name, it was on Mark Levin, that he's even said that we're lacking. He said they have been building up, and he has even mentioned to Biden that we need to build up our military might, that China is overcoming us with their might, and we need to put efforts into at least fixing equipment that might be needed for war. He says he's very, very worried about this. So the only one that wasn't worried about it was Nancy Pelosi. She don't seem worried the least bit, but um, um, I think she has other things in mind. I don't think she really cares about what's going on over there. If she did, she would have stayed home. So, and I'm not going to get into Nancy Pelosi. It was has resulted in escalation of the PLA, and now has a big presence all over the South China Seas, um, and around, especially concentrating around Taipei. And it's released some numbers. It says China sent at least 14 warships, 66 aircraft were involved in naval air exercises. And there were rockets too, they said. They fired at least 11 ballistic missiles so far. This is China's largest ever military drill, ever. And they say that they never expected it to be around Taiwan. And I mean, they say, but we're not done yet. It has come dangerously close to Taiwan, to Taiwan. And Chinese soldiers have crossed the medium line several times. What is the median line? It is unofficial sea border between Taiwan, China, and the PLA has crossed it back and forth. And so now Taiwan is getting very concerned. The median line in Taiwan Strait, the line of the state is an agreement between the two sides of the strait, and it has existed since the 1950s. Although this is no under international law, which I mentioned before. The existence of this line, in fact, every area has no navigation zones. Every country has this. And so they know it's not like China said, oops, we crossed the line. No, I think they're sticking their toe over it saying, what are you going to do about it? That's basically how I feel. That's my opinion, but that's what I feel. They're sticking that toe over and saying, what are you going to do about it? And then next time they stick their whole leg over going, what are you going to do about it? And of course, Taiwan is putting planes in the air. So what it looks like is um, these military drills and the a normal commercial operation of international fly routes, um, they are squeezing Taiwan, is how Taipei is responding by its upping its defenses. They have put more alert into their military. Their ships have also been deployed. Their planes are in the air. They've also activated the missile system. And the world is watching, making dire predictions. And the U.S. says China could use force. Um, and even Anthony Blinken says it's why we keep an eye on it, and why we still support Taiwan. Now, did he say that? It wasn't it last week he disagreed? They flip flop, and no wonder China is putting their toe over the line. Is maybe it's not to see if Taiwan will respond, but maybe the toe over the line is to see if the U.S. will respond. And of course, he knows that we have a very weak administration at this point. The change to the status quo that's prevailed with regard to Taiwan for more than 40 years has come from Beijing status quo and is founded on something that was clearly understood for decades is the difference between Taiwan and the mainland need to be resolved peacefully. And that's what they've seen China do over the last few years until now. Now it's no longer a peaceful resolution. Now it's a resolution of differences. And they do so coercively. And but now it's becoming very forceful. And China is moving towards the use of force. Uh, the sudden death of high ranking officials in Taipei has added to the tensions. And this is Ying Li Xing. He was a leading weapons developer for Taiwan. He was found dead in a hotel room yesterday. Yang is in the southern Taiwan over the years and overseen development of various kinds of missiles. So his death, especially at the time, like this, raised concerns. But local police have ruled out foul play, and they say it was a heart attack. Well, knowing the Clintons, a heart attack, you can't rule out that it wasn't foul play. With the Clintons, it usually is foul play. I'm gonna say, no, no, no. I know the Clintons well, and if Chinese is more ruthless than the Clintons, I think we need to look into this man's heart attack. And the next few days will be critical. And China has extended drills indefinitely. This could force the United States to respond, and it may not end well. That's what it is. Is now they're waiting for the United States. Is this going to be a war um, like it is over in Ukraine, where Russia now accuses the United States that they're having the war with the United States, not with Ukraine? Is that what's going to happen in China? China's going to accuse the United States of interfering so much that they're going to accuse the United States of them having a war with them, and it won't be about Taiwan. Um, this administration has a lot to think about. And as I listened to Mark Levin the other night, I came to realize that we have a lot of really good generals, and the generals are the ones that are going to be making the best decisions that we can make. And are they going to fall into the trap of Jinping? Of Now, I wish Lloyd and Blinken and a few others and Garland and all them would just step aside for a sec, because all they're doing is poking the panda. And yeah, you're right, Susan, and they want war. At this point, I think we need to leave this between Taiwan and China. Let's let Taiwan make the decisions. Let's not step in, overstep our boundaries like we have in Ukraine, and then take over and make the decisions for them. And that's what I feel what's going on in Ukraine. And more, Ukraine. The truth is coming out in Ukraine. Um, they they just found out that um, their money isn't making sense. Not only that, it's come out that the Azov battalion is purposely going house to house and killing people, even their own Ukrainians. More and more, the truth about Ukraine is coming out and how corrupt it still is today. Uh, and you say, "Oh, wait a minute, they're not corrupt." Well, wait a minute. When you put missiles in cars that you don't even know who they are and send them off down the road, it could be anybody, and that is corrupt. And Ukraine is responsible for this, not Poland. I'm going to say Ukraine is, because they could be standing right there saying yes, no, 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 yes, yes, yes on who gets them and who don't. You just don't pull up and let anybody have missiles. That's very dangerous, because we could get someone like ISIS or Afghanistan making the trip there to get a few missiles. So, um, uh, so Taiwan isn't any better. Now, what about the relations between Israel and Hezbollah and Hamas in Gaza? No, it's not any better either. They just called a ceasefire at this point. We'll know more probably today of what's going to happen with Israel. You know what got me though, folks? Iran didn't respond. I was waiting. I looked and looked. I searched the web over, and I didn't find any. I didn't even find crumbs. Why didn't Iran respond? They said if Israel did anything to the Palestinians or Gaza or up around Damascus, they would respond and they would annihilate Israel. Well, they did. They conquered. They blew it up, and they blew up quite a few. What was it? A far, I believe is what it's called. They took it out. Okay, and Iran's response? Nothing. I don't know what to take it as being scary that they're going to come out and do something, or if they are sitting back and watching. But it is a good response. No response is a good response, because I was really, I was ready to put the pan on my head and climb in the bathtub and say, all right, here it goes. No, I wouldn't do that, folks. Mary's like, what? You do what? I'll have to tell you the story. I had a little old lady that used to live next door to me, and she was like 88 years old. And, we kept an eye on her a little bit for her family. And when she would hear tornadoes in the state, she would put a pan on her head and she'd climb in her bathtub. And I said, boy, when I get 80 years old, that's what I'm going to do, just to drive my kids bonkers. So, hello, I'm not in this chat room. Well, I don't know. You're in a chat room. We see you. Mary, Susan's in here. And Karen, can you see her? Is she in the wrong one? It's multiple choice this morning. We got Investigator News Network, Investigator News 2, and Facebook. So everybody seems to be piling in on Investigator News 2. So if you don't see anybody, Susan, that's why. All right. So Cheney. Oh, how many of you think Liz Cheney's in trouble? Did you guys hear about her? And I think it's the new corruption. Cheney's husband is a partner at the law firm representing Hunter Biden. Wow. Oh, but now doesn't that take her out of the race? Um, uh, wow. So when did this happen? Yeah, when did this happen? This came out late yesterday. Philip Perry, who is married to Wyoming Liz Cheney, is partnered at the same law firm representing Hunter Biden. Now, shouldn't she be taken off that committee? Liz Cheney is partnered at the same law firm representing Joe Biden's scandal-ridden son. So last week, the Daily Mail reached out to Hunter Biden's attorney for comment. And basically, the family name for lucrative overseas business ventures. And the paper reported that the vice president, Biden, met with a pair of Chinese energy executives to Hunter Biden's foreign business deals. The attorney named Christopher Clark, who is listed with the firms Latham and Watkins as a partner, responded that the comment calling for the reporters and all of us parasites. Um, I think Liz Cheney's husband just called Republicans parasites. Yeah. Uh, uh, Not as bad as that hamburger they want us to eat. I don't know if I grabbed it today. They're, they've come out with the new meat. It's called worms. They look like grubs. So what they're going to do is instead of hamburger, they're going to put grubs in your burgers. Who thinks of this crap? Um, Karen, I swear, I'm gonna. They want us to eat bugs. They want us to eat plant burgers. They want us. They're gonna raise the prices on chicken. It's gonna go up 20%. Um, and I think they're nuts. I think they have gone. What did they do? Did they drink the water, the bad water in China or something? I don't know. Just kind of wondering about that. So Liz Cheney's husband um, is works at the law firm that's of course they don't mix politics, but wow, is that what got her the big seat at the hearings, as who her husband is? But she called us a parasite. Um, oh, I could call her some names too, but it wouldn't be ladylike. Um, so now I did tell you about Taiwan running defense drills. Um, and they claim that China has a hidden motive, and they think China knows when they're going to strike. Taiwan's armed forces issued an alert um, that these Chinese exercises are becoming too intense. And they said this is the most intense that they've ever seen China's do drills. They said before, the flyovers were one thing, but what they're doing right now is very worrisome. And like I told you, the reporters I have over there are scared, but they're there, and they're ready to report if anything happens. Um, and you're saying, well, maybe they're wimpy, maybe the reporters shouldn't be scared. No, reporters are scared, especially being over there with China and how they feel about reporters. It's just going to be the toe in the wrong area for my reporters that they might get snagged. And of course, re-education camp is scary. Um, so, Toyota um, offering to buy back electronic vehicles. Um, a startling warning. This is when are they going to recall these things? Okay, so in June, Toyota warned its buyer, the BZ4X electric SUV, not to drive their vehicles for fear that the wheels are going to fall off. This only gets worse because um, they say it's a mystery glitch. They found the solution to the problem, but it is offering to buy back all the SUVs from owners. Won't they just have a recall and fix it? We know our customers have many choices when it comes to purchasing a vehicle, they say. We appreciate their loyalty and supporting them. But at this point, we must go beyond what our norm is and recall them. Okay, so they are going to recall. According to a Western Journal. However, if the customer does not want to proceed, there are provided options they can use. Yeah, let's just not have it fixed and we'll hope that our wheels don't fall off. Now, what is this? We've got fires. We've got airbags that explode. We have seatbelts that explode. We have batteries that are exploding and catching on fire. And now we have wheels that are falling off of vehicles. When are they going to learn these cars aren't ready to hit the market? If they would have waited until 2040 and ease this in, I bet you all of us would have electric vehicles, maybe flying cars in 2040. They got too much of a hurry to bring in socialism and I say, plan a coup. Democrats, they're known socialists, Marxists, fascists. I got something to say later. Um, and they are. This is a coup to overthrow our government and to overthrow the people, put a dictator in, and put us into communism. They've been trying to do this for 100 years, and they have to speed it up. You know what got me was Klaus Schwab said, you guys need to speed it up. Everything needs to be in place as soon as possible. I said, everything what? What is everything? Um, um, and it basically is to push in socialism to bring in the one world order, which is communism. But I'm not going to get too worked up. Anyway, Toyota is offering to buy back their vehicles. Uh, yeah. Oh boy. The Senate climate. No, no, no. North Korea is offering 100,000 troops or more to help Russia win Ukraine. They said they'll send even more. Not only that, if they need missiles, we got them, they said. So now North Korea is joining the fight with Russia with boots on the ground. That's more than what we're doing for Ukraine at this moment. I mean, we say we're not doing boots on the ground, but I bet we have. So North Korea is offering 100,000 troops, and they will help Russia win the Ukrainian war. They say. Um, uh, boy, I'm just I'm surprised because is William in the room and just being quiet? If he happens to want to do the show this week, um, this is something that we should address because I had always thought that it was just going to stick close to China and just do what China wanted. Or is this what really China wants? Is China discussing this with Kim Jong-un and said, the best way you could help is helping Russia? We don't know. We won't know until we get the Democrats out of office and we actually start pulling some records to see exactly what's going on. And as mad as all of them are, the Republicans this morning, I think they're going to be looking into, they're going to pull up every rock that's in the Democrat Party. I'm sorry. So, anyway, the Democrats reject protecting the middle class from doubled IRS. I'm going to, the thing about this, folks, I guess I'll wait on it because I found out something reading the documents that was just disturbing. And I thought the IRS was supposed to go after millionaires or billionaires and zillionaires. Well, come to find out who they hired when they list it in this this bill, it sure makes you go, huh? So I'm gonna get to that in a sec. I want to try to get all this news out of the way, and then I can give you some in-depth stuff. French scientist tweets a picture of a distant star. And what it is it could be, they say, a almost like a second sun. They said the telescope image of the stellar neighbor. To me, it looks like the sun. They say basically, um, they they said it's only just a slice of what could become one of the newest stars that we need to watch. He said, but the photo he had was not the work of the world's most powerful space telescope. In fact, um, it was tweeted as something else, and according to uh, co- um, 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 the Cosmo people, no object belong no object belonging to the Spanish uh, uh, is basically they thought it came from maybe uh, the Pope's telescope, but they said um, he thought it was even fake news. He said it almost looked like a piece of sausage or a piece of pepperoni. He said even maybe a slice of chorizo. Um, but he said he no one should be embarrassed about being tricked. He said he was trying to make out a point of fake news that he could imagine, and he appealed to the authority of in the circles, saying. The first images captured by JWST were widely shared online, and it was supposed to show the beauty of the cosmos and capture detail of the world's biggest space telescope. And at the same time, things of the cosmic nature are very easily misinterpreted as people think everything is photoshopped these days. Um, he said, but he basically he's no a stranger to controversy, and he said, even if they want to Photoshop and they want to um, point out fake news, and they have put out pieces of pepperoni and stuff to mess with I guess, CNN. But no matter how you slice it, there is a distant star and that they have found, and they have to investigate it a lot further. But it's like they said, no matter how you slice it, uh, it could be a piece of pepperoni or not. Hmm. So we'll find out. I don't know. It looks like a piece of pepperoni to me, folks. I tell you. I don't think it looks like chorizo. It looks like a piece of pepperoni. And I asked my granddaughter, and when she first seen it, she said it was pepperoni. So I bet you it's pepperoni, maybe, maybe a distant star. So we'll find out. The saga continues. No, NASA doesn't play games, and I believe they found a beautiful distant star that looks like a sun. Is it a red hot planet? We don't know at this time. Um, if you guys didn't know, Olivia Newton-John is dead at 73 years old. She's been fighting cancer for quite a long time, and she passed away. Um, um, so, prayers to her family. Boy, uh, when I seen it, I said, "Whoa!" I thought she was my age, and then I seen 73, and I went, "Oh no, she's like 13 years older than me." So, um, own nothing and you'll be happy. I'm going to get me a donkey, I swear, Susan. I talked to a friend the other day and she was talking, well, I've been looking at them electric cars. I was like, well, don't make sure there's no seatbelts, no bags, no wheels, no batteries, and pedal it with your feet. We're going to end up with Flintstone cars. I told her, oh, no, I'm not going to own one of them things. I'm going to get a donkey. I'm going to go save a burro from China from putting it through the processing for meat. I'm going to go save a burro. Who would, I can't even fathom owning one of these cars at this point. Uh, yeah, you'd rather do a horse. But see, you're over there in Pennsylvania and that's normal. Arkansas would think I was crazy. They're like, yeah, there goes one of them billbillies. We call them billbillies here. We don't call them hillbillies. The hillbillies are in the other places. We call them billbillies, definitely. So I don't want one of them cars. I want them to be right before they put them on the market. And I want mine to fly. I'm sorry. I grew up on the Jetsons. I want my flying car if they're going to go electric. So, all right. Um, Let me move on. I got a lot going. Uh, Generic drugs. Manufacturers warn Democrat drug plan could lead to higher prices. See, I told you this whole Obama thing that they had going for the healthcare part. They were going to reinstate what Obama had going. Well, when he was in office, folks, the generic drug prices were up. All drug prices were up. And I've already seen it. It hit me with mine. Um, so it's a big warning that the generic drug manufacturers have even warned that it could lead to higher prices. And with the Senate, they passed that health care bill on Sunday, which permits Medicare to negotiate what it pays for drugs. Now, how is that supposed to help us, folks? Um, the whole thing is that last few words, which permits Medicare to negotiate what it pays for drugs. And for seniors who faced rationing medications or skipping them altogether, now what? So this Inflation Reduction Act, uh, it's not going to lower prescription drug costs. It's a final cap out of pocket expenses, it says. Generic drug manufacturers argue the bill will distinctively uh, be competitive by preventing manufacturers from entering the market, thereby making medications more expensive. The Senate has chosen to replace the competition, the only proven way to provide patients relief from high brand drug prices. And it's so look at what they want to do. They say, "Oh, you don't want the generics. You're going to pay for the good stuff, and we're going to start cutting back on your generics." Well, no. You know how many senior citizens depend on the generic drug prices? How many of the viewers do? Put it down in the comments. Do you depend on generic drugs and their prices to cut? I know one of mine is over $600, but I get it for I think like five through the generic and through my coupon programs I do. But this is very disturbing for senior citizens, for our us taking care of our parents, because where are they going to get the money for this? If they're already on a fixed income, where are they going to come up with the extra money to pay for the bigger cost of the generics? Oh yeah, it's going to come back and bite them on the buns. It definitely is. Um, Guess what? Last week, wasn't it $7 billion that we shipped off to Ukraine for aid? Well, guess what? Biden announced another $4.5 billion, basically to keep Ukraine government afloat. So now we're paying their budget. Last week was aid. The week before that was for weapons. And then we give them a great big old package a couple of weeks ago. And so now here we go. We're going to give them another $4.5 billion for their government to keep their government running. At this point, I'm starting to agree with Russia saying that the United States is running Ukraine. I don't see what the heck is Zelensky doing. Is why doesn't he pull it out of his pocket? It's not going to hurt him for a couple $1 million to keep his government afloat. Or how about they all work for free? They're so corrupt over there. Won't they just work for free? And, they can go shake down their own people. I shouldn't say that. Oh, boy. No, let's not go shake down Ukrainians. I'd shake every one of them, especially the Azov Battalion, little neo-Nazi critters. And if you guys want to know where I get this from, they call them neo-Nazis. So get this. When Hitler They're saying that Hitler fled. I don't know if he made it or not, but the rest of them got left there. Well, they all fled to Ukraine, meaning the SS soldiers and quite a few scientists. Well, now we're seeing the generation of the generation of the generation, and they have all been neo Nazis all this time. And it's been very corrupt. And we have known for the last 30, 40 years how corrupt Ukraine is. It was pointed out in 2008 how corrupt it was by um, people in power there that were being knocked out by the corrupt government. And then we knew in 2013, we knew in 2015, when Zelensky asked Trump for help, and Trump helped him get a few anti-corruption um, bills in place. Not only that, but anti-corruption um, offices in place to start getting the corruption out. And this was going into 2018. Now, 2020, he also even asked Joe Biden to help with the anti-corruption that was going on in Ukraine. So Ukraine's always been corrupt. That's where I get it. So, and I got really good reporters on the ground over there that tell me everything going on. Guess, just when we thought Carrie Lake was going to be good for the GOP in Arizona, guess what? She says she opposes shipping illegals to other states. So what does she do? Side with the Democrats all of a sudden? Is this a Republican or a Democrat posing as a Republican get in office? She just says she opposes it because it further puts other countries, states, and cities in a financial bind, and they're trying as best as they can to help find places for these illegals to go. Um, um, so the FDA is now looking at Biden and saying we still have a baby food formula or baby formula shortage. And why is your administration not responding to messages sent? So the Biden basically demanded that the FDA act, and they're being timid. So the fingers are going back and forth. And so what I did is I got a hold of my ladies at the Capitol, and I said, what's really going on? We have global semiconductor shortages, grain shortages, baby formula shortages, import shortages, everything shortages. Now, is it the FDA that's dragging their feet on this, or is it the Biden administration? So they ran off and they asked a few questions, and come to find out, they said it's not the FDA. The FDA is ready. It's worked with these plants to get the baby formula out. It's the Biden administration dragging their feet once again. So it wasn't the FDA, they say. And even the baby formula plants are saying it's not the FDA imposing the problem on policies, restrictions, and what they can and can't do and when they can open. It's the Biden administration itself. So, so anyway, let me move on. I'm getting close. The squad is supporting the fact that, or not really supporting the fact, they're trying to hide their taxes. And I don't think that's why we're hiring IRS to go after the squad. But what they're doing is they said they're supporting Justice Democrats PAC. And what they mean by that is they are doing the same as quite a few other millionaire, billionaire, zillionaires are doing, and trying to avoid the IRS looking at their taxes. And why? Because now the squad are doing it because of the major amount of contributions coming from the Soros foundations, and for pushing forward. Not only that, but the World Economic Forum is giving heavily, and it's for the Green New Deal. And so they raked in six figures. They are making millions. All of them are. Anybody that has anything to do with the Green New Deal, like Bernie Sanders, probably Elizabeth Warren, and quite a few of them are now starting to, they say, receive payments. And this comes from my girls at the Capitol. And not only that, but then they said that um, um, their money source isn't none of anybody's business. They say their non-profit obscures its funders from being identified, but behind the six-figure cash infusion, which also singles out their largest donations for the 2022 election cycle. However, they've received backing from sources that they're concealing. Not only that, but all their donors. And it's a way to win, they say. The left-wing nonprofit that also props up far-left politicians in the justice system also. And they said, so whatever they have, then some of the money is steered to their own states, to their justice system, is, I say, is bribes, but they say is a goodwill gesture of how well they're doing. No, it's a bribe, or not even a bribe. It's you do it or else. So this is how they're funneling this money through. They're getting large amounts of money, and then they send it on to the justice systems and police department, the schools, everything that we're having issues with the Democrats. It seems like this money is now, we're finding out, going from the feds to the state, from the state to the senators, Congress, and also city councils and mayors, and being put in all for the wrong reasons. Yeah, nothing new. I like that, Karen. Yeah, this ain't nothing new. Uh, but at least we know the trail. We know the trail. And before, we didn't know if it was just Soros, but we're now finding out that this comes from the State Department. It's kind of like Hillary Clinton worked back in the day when she was the State Department for Obama. There's certain things that you can do and pass. You can move it to the state, and then you can basically say, well, it needs to go over here or else, or else we have blackmail material. I bet they have blackmail material on 90% of the people in this world. And then get this, we're talking about electric cars. Well, just when we thought Joe Biden was going to bring back a plant and we could make electric cars here, no, it didn't do it. He decided Mexico's a better place. Mexico needs the jobs because, we're filling up the jobs here pretty quick. So guess what? We're going to lose our electric car plant to Mexico because they need it more than we do. Oh, good grief, good grief. Possible war in the Taiwan Strait. Is that new news, Ellen Dennis? Mary, you can, my phone, well, I don't have my phone in here. Mary, if you can find out really quick. Ellen, welcome to the show. I'm going to put your post up. This is what we're talking about. That we all of a sudden stopped for. Possible war in Taiwan Strait. I was kind of afraid of that. And I bet you it's someone stuck their toe in the wrong place. So, oh boy, if we don't collapse the size of this government soon, it's going to become an oppressor. Now, when we pass this, this bill, a lot of it had to do, remember, we did a $700 billion for, it was kind of climate healthcare infrastructure during the Obama administration. Let me see. I guess I need to move this out. Oh. I shouldn't push buttons. I don't know what they do. It already is. Okay. Well, let me know. So, um, if this bill passes, it includes $370 billion in green energy subsidies. Now, do you remember? Does anybody know what that is? Well, basically, it's to pay off the Green New Deal. Oh, is that where AOC got that money? Yeah. How, if the bill passes and includes $370 billion in green energy subsidies, and how well the green energy has happened or has worked the last time when Obama passed it through. Did anybody ever know that? He passed through a Green New Deal, and he put in um, money into it that would have been a great investments for pushing forward slowly, though, the Green New Deal. And it was made under the Obama. Um, and because this is what the billionaires wanted during the Obama administration. And because of Solyndra. Um, so basically, because of that inflation that we had during the Obama administration, which it was listed as a loss of job and a loss of uh, not enough spending, not enough good government programs. Well, so they had to write more in, and they added the Green New Deal into this. But I don't want to get into the whole Green New Deal, but here's the key to this bill. $80 billion. Um, um, this is all, they say this is all got to be done. The 370 billion, the 80 billion is for, guess what? The IRS. And I thought, okay, they're going to hire and they're going to go after the millionaire and billionaires and zillionaires, right? Wasn't that? Well, when you look at this bill, it says it's the Internal Revenue Service. It's for enforcement. Now enforcement. Is that jolting you guys? Enforcement. No, it isn't for workers. We already have I think we have about 80,000 workers about that. And now they're going to add 80 more for enforcement. They've already been buying up bullets and guns. What does the IRS need with enforcement? What does the IRS need with bullets and guns? You know? And do we have that many greedy billionaires? I mean, do they need 80,000? Do we have 80,000 millionaires? Do we have that many billionaires, millionaires together? Not only that, but they better sharpen up on their instead of enforcement on their court skills, because these billionaires have got some serious lawyers that'll make mincemeat out of an IRS agent. They are so what I call badass that when the IRS agent comes in, they turn around and walk back out. They're scary. These lawyers are scary, and really good attorneys read into law. And so we needed 87 new IRS agents. That seems to it doesn't compute with me. And is this going to reduce inflation? Is it going to lower our taxes? Yeah, because it's going to hurt you so badly that to be able to buy things. Okay, it may. Will it reduce inflation? Because it's going to hurt you so badly that you won't be able to buy the things. Too much money chasing too few goods. Now you got to listen to this. So if you can't make the goods, you've got to reduce the money chasing. So that means you slow down at the store, and that's exactly what this bill will do. Okay, so let me show you this because the government is going to be spending so much money. What it's got to do is we've got too much money chasing not enough goods in the stores, right? So if you don't get the goods in the store, it slows down the money, it reduces the money chasing, and it brings inflation down that little bit. It's a typical card trick that the Democrats have done forever. So you guys get this? You guys understand that? What they're doing? This is their way of beating inflation. Well, I thought they had a plan. Isn't that what they said? They had a plan, for the big reset. The plan's in the works and the adults are in the building. Well, why would they have to do a typical card trick for us to go through the lack of food so we won't buy so much? So then it makes the economy look better? No, I don't think so. But because the government is going to be spending so much more money, I don't think it's going to reduce inflation at all. I think inflation is worse. Um, and the American people just don't see it. You know what got me, folks? When they were looking at the polls, and then I'm starting to wonder if these polls aren't fixed, and they're not. Something's not right, because they were saying 51% of this country want this bill passed. 51%. Um, and get this, 22% are Republicans that watch mainstream media that want it passed too. 22% of this country that are Republicans wanted this bill. We're not doing good enough. And I agree with quite a few of um, the conservative big media guys that are out there, and they say, "Are we not getting through to people, or is it the fact that we're blocked and we can't get through?" But when you have over 50% of this country agree with this, what the heck? I guess the mainstream media did their job in promoting junk and crap and lies. We should all be opposed to it. There shouldn't be no 51%. And get this, they polled the same people and asked them, are they happy with the way the country's going? And 70% said no. They have no understanding of what's in this bill. That's all it is. That's what I think it is. That's what I looked at. So, um, and so most people really don't know what's in it. So that $80 billion to the IRS, that's a 600% increase of their budget. Yeah, wow. That's a lot. Now get this. Um, there is now Pentagon is huge. They got 27,000 employees at the Pentagon. I don't know if you guys knew that that's how many was there. Okay, so we're going to hire 87,000 IRS agency. We're talking close to 170,000 IRS workers. For what? It's bigger than our Pentagon. So the IRS, what? See, this stuff don't make sense. Uh, so when we are looking at um, how far is this bill really going to go? What else is in there? Well, guess what? On page 529, guess what? It's going to pay farmers not to farm. Yeah, I thought we were in a food crisis. Yeah, this bill is paying farmers not to farm. They want to restore the soil. Yeah, so it'll include plowing less. It's implementing climate friendly crops, they say. They want them to rotate and techniques and planting and cover crops and that do not yield any food over so much. They can't produce more food than what would be allotted by the government. Um, and not only that, paying the farmers not to farm. The other thing is um, the fertilizers. I think of it as Miracle Grow, that makes everything bigger, better, and more. That's not going to be allowed anymore for farmers to use. They got to go back to the simpler fertilizer, not one that's going to boost their crops. Hmm. Because they say it's more climate friendly if they do this. Huh. Not only that, uh, I can't remember, to switch their crops out so that it's something different. Well, wait a minute, and not only this, they want to regulate what you feed your cow. Um, uh, they're going to regulate how you feed your cows. Well, damn it, the farmers know how to farm. They know what they're doing. How long have the farmers been farming? Decades, generations. They know what they're doing. They know how to farm. They know how to rotate their crops. They plant this one year and this another year. They don't need the government to come in and tell them how to feed their cows. They know how to feed their cows. And what's the government want them to feed them? Well, that they don't want to. They don't want that released. As farmers know how to be farmers. They don't need some um, pencil neck geek, and I don't like calling people names, but I see, Karen, I told you I was going to get angry today. Some pencil neck geek in Washington that just does numbers say, well, we can cut things if we could just tell them what they can feed their cows. I hope it's not how often that they feed the cows and other wildlife. What's it going to be when they cut the feed to the chickens? What are they wanting? What is the federal um, um, is it AFDA, I believe, agriculture guys in Washington? What do they want to feed our cows and chickens and and pork, the food that we eat? I'm not sure. I want them meddling, but this bill has put in money for it. So now we have, you know, I um, you have to look at what the heck are they doing? Do we have eggheads in office? Yeah. Um, the thing about this is this anti-farm. Now we are just now seeing it. Guess what? Europe has been seeing it. Why do you think their farmers are protesting? They're a little ahead of us on this. They're seeing that they're not allowed to grow. It's putting them out. Not only that, China's buying up farms. Bill Gates is buying up farms. And they're going to be the ones to own these farms, and they're chasing the farmers out. Do you want eggs and milk and your grains from Bill Gates or China? I'd be scared of what's in it. The GMOs were bad enough, but this is we have accepted when not we Democrats accepted it when socialism. They knew the new socialism was coming into play for this administration. This is worse. This is getting into a fascist Marxism plan that I've been telling you guys about and giving you all the pointers on it for over a year. Some of you are new, so you haven't heard me talk about fascist Marxism and what it is and what it does. We're in the point of socialism, fascist Marxism. When they start controlling your food, the banking, our churches, the schools, um, what we can do, places we can go with or without the coverings. That's communism, folks. They've pushed us into the new phase of communism. I hate to say welcome to communism, but this is what I have studied for years of don't let this happen. And it's happening before our eyes. Um, it just repeats itself over and over and over again. And they repeat it on the news for to the Democrats to accept it. They repeat bad behaviors that they have done. They It's a plan. It's a plan that they have used over and over again. Um, and boy, um, and as far as I know, everybody is big on this whole what's going on with Trump and um, Mar-a-Lago and that. I think it's going to be all over the news. And until they all start coming out, I think we need to worry about uh, what's going on in Taiwan. And I really do think that um, uh, what this administration is doing with this bill, we need to find out a lot more about. This is a Marxist plan. I never signed up for Marxism. I never signed up for socialism. And we got to start beating some pots and pans, folks. This is written in the Marxist fascist plans. If you look back at Karl Marx, or you look back at Saul Alinsky, if you don't know who these guys are, look it up on YouTube. And you'll sit, and when you start hearing what their plan is to be laid, and this was back in the 30s and 40s, we're living this right now. And I just want to grab on to some Democrats and shake the hell out of them and say, wake the hell up. You don't need to be acting like this. When are you going to listen? When are you going to learn? These aren't social programs, dude. And they think, oh, they're going to put in all these nice social programs. Well, who the hell's going to pay for it? Us and you. And you don't realize it. You don't realize that this is going to, they want a 20 to a 25% tax increase out of this. Oh, we didn't hear that, they say. Well, wake the hell up. And that's what you need to tell some of your friends and family, that do you want 20% tax increase? They're going, oh no, I don't want that. Well, you just signed up for it. And they're only going to get away with it until we can change things. And you know what? It woke up. It really did wake up the GOP on this. And not only that, what they did with this raid on Trump. They cannot wait to get in office. So many tweets this morning said, when we get in office, we're starting investigations. Well, good for you, but you better do it. They had better do it. And if not, you know what? We're going to start calling them and we're going to remind them what they said. We cannot let the Democrat Party take us down this horrible nightmare of a hole with Klaus Schwab and the World Economic System. It's time to wake up. It's time to start shaking some people, start beating on the pots and pans. And in the meantime, folks, start prepping. Start prepping. It's only going to be a nightmare when this hits. When this hits our stores, our gas, our electric, our mortgages, you know what? 80,000 IRS agents with guns and bullets. Well, you know what? They can go door to door and take our stuff too. Remember back in our parents saying, I don't know if all your parents said this, when we owed the IRS, they came to the house and they took our things. They took our cars. They took washing machines. They took furniture. Is that what this is for? Be leery, folks. I don't know. It's my opinion, and I'm just going this world and our country repeats history. And now I'm seeing 87,000 IRS agents with bullets and guns and enforcement. Enforcement. This wasn't to tally numbers. This is enforcement. There's a different heading for that. and it's called an agent, and there's different employment jobs that's out there. It's just like any job. Well, you don't put enforcement down. What are they going to do? Stand over and make sure these people do the right number and hold the eraser if they make a mistake? No, they're seriously building up the IRS agents to do what? Uh, I think it's like it was back in history. They're going to come get your car. Or are they gonna take your house? That's communism. And what's really horrible is this was part of the plan for Karl Marx and Saul Alinsky with the fascist Marxism. Um, uh, that this is the plan that they've been writing up for almost 100 years. So, with that, folks, and I hope I didn't lose too many people. But everybody's scouring to see what's going on in Taiwan this morning. And also, they're probably going to go look at this bill. You guys need to subscribe. I'm only going to get more fierce this week. I'm nice today. I might be not nice tomorrow. I got a lot more stuff. With it being Wednesday, the chaos and the plans and everything. Something I was going to try to do on David Hodges' shows, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to release it to you guys tomorrow. A lot of what I'm finding out economically. And not only that, but what this administration is doing with the chaos and um, these prices. Think Venezuela. Go back and look at the history when Venezuela fell. And you're going to be shocked. You're going to be going, like that kid had done on that Christmas show. When he shaved and put the aftershave on him, he went, you guys are going to be doing this when you start finding out what the hell the Democrats are doing. They are not our buddy. They are not our friend. They are socialist communists that want to give our country over to Klaus Schwab, the European, and the neo-Nazis. So thank you for watching today. We will see you tomorrow. There's no show tonight. I'm going to be pulling on William Sox to come on tomorrow night with everything heating up in Taiwan. And the military might that's being pulled in and used at this point, we might need him. Yes, I'm sorry. I forgot all about that, Karen. I'll go right out and do it as soon as I'm done here. So is that okay? All right. So subscribe and hit the like, hit that bell. You're going to want to watch these shows this week. I've got a lot piled up. And more, I'm getting stuff coming from my reporters. And hit the bell for sure. Over in Facebook, be sure to hit the follow and the like. And we thank our viewers over in Facebook for sharing and so many watching over there. Well, now we need to work on YouTube. Come on, YouTube. Start building us up over here. Facebook is, gained us so many. So Facebook, give a shout out to those you know that are on Facebook or on YouTube and send them over this way too. So with that, you guys have a wonderful Tuesday. And watch, if you guys can't stand to watch the news, I'll be there to watch it for you. It's going to be a busy news day. And I don't know, my grandbaby might not get Doc McStuffins today. She might have to go over to the laptop and have to watch cartoons on it. So I'm going to be mean. I'm going to take her TV away from her. All right, folks. We will see you tomorrow morning for the morning weather show. And if Taiwan is under attack, of course, I'll be back. So see you soon, and God bless.